And so far I'm talking to myself because there's no one in the chat. Uh, no one with the thumbs up. You don't know how difficult this was to set this up. I had to find a spot, and I know it's not the most beautiful setting, although I could move, but outside it's too hot and too noisy, so I decided to come to you live from Denver, Colorado. This is my son's house, and staying here for a couple of days, and I thought I'd bring a coffee with Cannon. No beautiful setting from the backyard, but we are here, we are live, and I'm waiting for the first person to see, the first person in the chat that I'm not seeing anyone. Where is everyone? Where have all the flowers gone? EMT 623, you're the first one in the chat. Welcome, welcome aboard. Happy, hello, happy. Good to see two people in the chat, at least now. People are waking up. Aquarius Yaya, hello Jolly, Texas Patty, Terry Ellis, hi. Laura Desmaris, good to, Aunt BB2, an old reliable, welcome. Laverne Farrar, look at all these people coming in. It's great to see you. So yeah, I flew in yesterday from LaGuardia to Denver. My son picked us up at the airport. We had some food, we had some nice Cabernet last night, but I was shot because I got up yesterday at 6 o'clock in the morning, New York time. Diane Krause, hello. David Kahn, how are you, buddy? So I know you guys don't want to hear this, but anyway, I got up real early, and I did a show yesterday, 8 o'clock in the morning, and so then my flight was at 2, and and then the flight that was supposed to take off at 5, something was wrong with the plane, so it didn't take. Wilesy Pony, is she in the house? And Wilesy, I did get the message from you about all the rain in Jupiter, Florida. In fact, a friend of mine called Wilesy Pony. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was on a podcast. What's her first name? Her last name's Osorio, and she was a radio DJ from Washington, the state of Washington. And she asked me to come on a show in regards to the Gilgo Beach case. And at first I said no, because I was just too damn busy. And then she persisted, and I said, okay, I'll come on. And I'm glad I did, but sometimes you're just overwhelmed with stuff to do, 68 in the chat, 27 with the thumbs up. Did anyone watch that press conference yesterday from John Ray? I didn't know what to make of it. And I didn't watch the whole thing, but what I watched, I was just like, what the hell's going on here? And obviously, Sheila Gregory from Long Island, you're like heaven on earth to me. I grew up on Long Island too, Levittown boy. So that press conference was baffling, right? And Victoria Heuermann, I may have called her Virginia the last time. I know her name's Victoria Heuermann. That's Rex Heuermann's daughter. And she actually worked with him at his architect firm in Manhattan. But did you see those pictures they showed? And the allegations John Ray made? I was just like, wait a minute. Haven't the police investigated Victoria Heuermann and Asa Ellerup? And I know the connection, the nexus they're making is that on at least one or two of the victims, Wilesy Pony, cringeworthy, John Ray, it was frightening. But I'm just like, he's presenting things that are not evidence. There's no vetting of this information. And was I disturbed that Victoria Heuermann had that book that those pictures came out of, and that she had these websites, and that she was in? But what do you expect the daughter of a serial killer to be reading? You think she's going to be reading Sports Illustrated? I mean, obviously these people are affected by this guy, but now the connection, he makes allegations with really, no proof. No, I mean, and he says, Lonnie Britt Harris, I think that those dumping grounds that, near Gilgo, I think Rex is involved, is responsible for all of it. I didn't at first. Thomas Jordan, good to see you, buddy. I didn't at first, but now, will they be able to connect each one? I don't know. but I think he is absolutely involved in every single one of it, and more, and more. Was yesterday's press conference with John Ray, and you know what killed me is he had Dr. Lisa Mitchell, thank you for the $5 super sticker. So the daughter spoke Icelandic. I guess the mom taught her for her native language. I think the daughter, 100% she has issues, but what would you think? You know, and I had said on my show a million times, that house speaks volumes. Anyone that lives in that house, in my opinion, and I have no credentials to speak this other than I'm a retired NYPD homicide sergeant, I think everyone in that house is mentally ill. To live in that house, you had to be mentally ill. Anyone that lives in a hoarder house that apparently, when I spoke to some of when I spoke to one, I shouldn't say the detectives, one high-ranking police official, he said the house was so disgusting that they couldn't believe humans lived in it. So, and that, I'm not quoting him, he just said it was disgusting. I'm saying that. But he communicated to me. So, is that not mental illness to live in a house like that? And now when John Ray brings out this book, and apparently all those pictures were from a book. Rosalie Rodriguez, good to see you. 150 in the chat, 58 with the thumbs up. This is Coffee with Cannon, live from Denver, Colorado. I'm drinking water, had my coffee. Didn't have my Dunkin' Donuts today. I'm a little going through withdrawal because of that. But I usually drink Dunkin' Donuts dark. I like my coffee dark. With a little milk, and then I blast it for 45 seconds. Some people think that's excessive, but I like my coffee hot because you put it down and you move away, and then all of a sudden your coffee's cold. You know, I don't like cold coffee. Wow, look at all these people. 171 in the chat, 66 with the thumbs up. Victoria 27, she did not live at home or work. Victoria did, apparently, the information we have, she did work with Rex Heuermann. She's 27 years old, and apparently she did live at home. I don't know where you're getting that information. She was home when the police went to execute that second warrant, the recent one. She was there, and that's where they found that book. Wild Z Pony, no donuts. I'm trying to watch this boyish figure. Cops love donuts, right? That's a rumor. No, I like donuts. I just try. And, you know, actually, who am I kidding? I ate a chocolate chip cookie yesterday at the airport, and it really wasn't good. It was like plant-based. I didn't read that till I got it, and I was like, ah! If I'm going to eat a chocolate chip cookie, I want it to be the real thing. I want it to be real sugar and real chocolate chips and real flour and real whatever they make chocolate chip cookies with. This was a terrible cookie, and it was probably like a $8 cookie or $10. It was like ridiculous, and it wasn't good. So enough with the cookie. So no, I mean, I don't know what to make of that press conference. And I would have went live yesterday on it, but I just did a show, and I was getting ready to leave for Colorado. But I'm disturbed by that press conference. And my co-host, Mike Geary, he watched it in depth and made some notes about it. And he said, you know, those pictures came from the book that was in the house. Is that disturbing? Yeah, 100%. Does that make her... Rodney Harrison hinted at really bad stuff, calling Rex Heuermann demonic. Except, you're right, he did. Except, right from Jump Street, the day, I think it was, Rex Heuermann was arrested on, I think, July 13th. And July 14th, I think, was it the 13th or 14th, they had the press conference. They cleared all the family members. They cleared Asa Ellerup, his wife. She had no involvement. And they said none of the other family members were involved. And I was a little disturbed at that point as to why they so quickly cleared everyone, because, wait, what's the rush? This investigation is going to continue. Nancy Drew, look at the picture she drew with her signature. Nancy Drew, it is absolutely horrifying. But my question is, can we draw a nexus between, sorry, I took my hat off. This is my new haircut. No more 4 and 5. Now it's 3 and 4. I'm at the age you go to the barber shop. You don't say, yeah, I say number 3 and number 4. And then he goes to work. It was 4 and 5, but then 4 and 5, I was getting a haircut every 3 weeks. So, Sam Alice Huff Johnson, happy Friday, Sergeant Bill. Good to see you. Texas Patty, this is what I saw. A dude that just left Woodstock, got a jacket at Goodwill and came on with a packet to sell his bill of goods. I didn't find it credible. You know something? buddy, I sort of agree with you. I find it disturbing because it's like throwing all this stuff at the wall to see what sticks. And oh, my number one thing that disturbed me, Gary Brucato, who's the most credible serial killer expert out there. He was at the press conference, but he wasn't really selling what John Ray was. He was just talking about serial killers and what they found and all of this stuff, but absolutely disturbing. And as I said, don't you think that Nancy Drew, why would Gary Brucato be at the press conference? Probably because John Ray asked him to. And Gary Brucato is a great guy, but you're also risking your credentials being sort of put into this whole thing. And I used a clip from Gary Brucato on my last show, and he actually came into the chat and thanked me for doing it. And I thanked him for being the spectacular, doctor of expert on serial killers. And he's very articulate, and and Chapman, but he's lowering his credibility. Well, maybe he didn't know exactly what that press conference was going to look like yesterday. It's another aside to this. Another aside to this is that I think the attorneys, the conference was truly disturbing. The comparisons with some of the victims will causes doubt, not definite guilt, but doubt. Deb Galloway. Look, this case, of course, is all about the victims and the victims' families. And we want to see the monster that did this to be held responsible. But was what John Ray presented yesterday, was it evidence? He uses that word evidence very loosely, because it's not evidence unless it's going to be used in the prosecution, and if it develops probable cause. Susan Bartlett, Dr. Gary was there to answer questions and explain things. I think Dr. Gary believes it went too fast. Good, Evelyn Strand, good morning. Bill from Vancouver, BC, good morning. A lot of people, 278 in the chat, 113 with the thumbs up. Guys, let's get more thumbs up. We got to make Coffee with Cannon a national show. Like Crazy Eddie, this channel is going insane, So some of you guys don't know that reference. You're not old enough, but I'm old enough to remember Crazy Eddie. The prices are insane. Deb Galloway, I agree it was wrong to call it evidence. The missing shoe makes you think. Shalane Thomason. Christy Duvalle, is it raining? No, it's not raining here. I'm inside. I'm the mom. That's why, yes, Victoria was exposed to such sick things. Look, Victoria has a sick father, right? He's allegedly the murderer of 6 people so far, right? And every time I see his attorney, Michael Brown, speak, I want to laugh out loud that he's saying, Rex denies all these charges. Rex has nothing to do with this. Howdy, Billy from Down Under. Hello from Down Under. Good afternoon from Virginia. Evelyn Strand, good to see you, all you guys. 302 in the chat. We're bringing Coffee with Cannon back in a big way. The Supreme Commander is on the air. You guys, no one's confusing Coffee with Cannon with Police Off the Cuff, right? This is just a show that we have fun and talk. Lady Gonaveri, hi. Janie, it's him. That account was him. Who wants to put as if he's, the chat's moving fast. Hi, Sarge, great job. Fred Aaron, good to see you. Fred Melanie, I believe she was definitely exposed and even witnessed things. You know something, Melanie? That remains to be seen, But one of the problems is that everyone in the family is represented by counsel. And that's one of the things I was going to say makes me crazy right now. The attorney for Victoria Heuermann and her brother is Zev Matev. And I think I'm saying his name correct. I know his last name is Matev. I think that's correct. He was an associate partner with John Ray. Sherry Murray, thank you. You're the best, Sarge. So did John Ray call up Zev Matev and say, hey, I'm about to give this blockbuster press conference involving your client, so get ready. Evelyn Strand, we need to get Bill to 100,000. That's right. Oh yeah, 100,000 would be unbelievable, right? 100,000 today, tomorrow the world. So, I mean, I get back to it, Susan Bartlett, yes, the attorneys used to be partners. Isn't that a little disturbing? What does that say to everybody? You think he warned him? Dr. Bado is brilliant, a legend in his field. Absolutely. Wiles E. Pony, Supreme Commander, 2 different shoes. Yeah. Oh my God, I think John Ray needs a vacation. Zana Elise Hoff Johnson has the Supreme Commander coffee cup. I tell you, my merch is dead in the water lately. No one buys any of it, and I'm like, what am I got to do something different. One of the problems with merchandise doing this stuff is they make it so expensive. The company that does it for you, I don't do it. It doesn't. It's almost not worth it, But I'm glad some of you guys have the Supreme Commander mug. Coffee with Cannon, backyard beverage bitching with Bill. What do I say? Doodling in Denver. Coffee, even laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm in Denver, guys. You know it. I'm drinking water in Denver. They don't have good water in it, so they have to put this through some filter or something. We got spoiled in New York. We have the best water, Now someone will argue, no, we have better water in Colorado. Yes, my son lives in Colorado, Denver, Colorado. He's he's in cybersecurity. So he did something close. He's not a cop, but he did something sort of like in law enforcement. If your orange shirt is on there, I want one. This is, I don't want to advertise this company, but I'm not getting anything from this company. I like these shirts, though. They're nice. They fit good, too, I got the guns working, too. The guns look good in these shirts, Got to pump those guns. You look good in these Coffee with Cannon shirts. Bonaire water is the best, Christy Duval. Down on the Veggie Garden Diaries, wear it on your show. On my show, I have to sort of have something with police logo on it, so I can't really wear this color. It will throw everyone off. They'll be like, where are we? Are we at Coffee with Cannon? Are we backyard beverage? Or are we police off the cuff? Lisa Mitchell, happy Father's Day this weekend. Thank you so much. It's something, all you fathers out there, all you mothers out there, that's a job that, is one of the hardest jobs in the world. And to keep your kids, Polythene Pam, Bill, my favorite Beatles fan. Wow, well, you should see Polythene Pam. She's so good looking that she looks like a man. If you should see her in drag just in a polythene bag, if you should see Polythene Pam. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ow, look out! Does anyone know what the next song is now? All you Beatle fans? Come on, someone tell me what the next song is after Polythene Pam on the Abbey Road album. Come on, guys, someone has to come through with it. What's the next song? Vesmetev, Stacy's so serious, you're right. The next song is, my father was a photographer and has his own darkroom. My kids weren't allowed because of the chemicals, but we always managed to get into knock to look for our birthday and Christmas presents. Come on, no one's telling me what the next song is after Polythene Pam on the Abbey Road album. No, I gotta know. You guys are slow today. No Beatles, no real hardcore Beatles fans there. 344 in the chat, 179 with the thumbs up. Get some more thumbs up, guys. This is Coffee with Cannon. Goo job. No, the next, yes, she came in through the bathroom window. That's right. Someone got it. Come together. No, she came in through the bathroom window. That's the next song after Polythene Pam. Very good. I didn't see who got that. I caught that you knew it, but I didn't catch the name. So, Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter gave Charles Manson some demented theory about why he had those people killed. Don't know, Bill, ask Def Leppard. So glad to make alive, Carol Woodward. This ain't your mom's account. Back. Hey, Jude. Polythene. No, it was. She came in through the bathroom window. We already established that. I don't understand, John Ryan, in my opinion, when looking at the layers of action can't be overlooked as mere nothing. Look, the problem with what John Ray is presenting is that now everything he presents has to be looked into. And I think Victoria Heuermann And even the possibility that she could have been complicit has to be looked into. But guess what? The police cannot interview her. I try to tell you guys that all the time, and you know why? Because she's represented by counsel, Vesmetev. So the police cannot talk to her unless they contact Vesmetev and they say, we'd like to interview her. And you know what Vesmetev is going to say? He's going to say, no, she does not want to speak to you. And she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to. So how do we go about JW, bad taste in artwork isn't a crime? Yeah, JW, but it's deeper than that, right? It was sick artwork, right? And I don't want to go into it. You know, he went into it very deep on TV, and I'm surprised even the TV station showed it. Sour Girl talks to angels. Moose Girl, Debbie Gal, good morning, Napoleon Buckles. Look at all you guys from all over the world. Where's all my folks from Great Britain and Scotland and Australia, down under as they call it? Heather, whatever, yes, sick. Just out. It was highly disturbing, Melanie. You're 100% right. Wisconsin here. Green Bay Packers fan, right? Green Bay, Wisconsin. He was devastated. Look at this chat, how fast it's moving. Blackheart is in the house from Great Britain. Yeah, who looks at that kind of art? But she also supposedly had some, was it Twitter or Instagram? One of them, she posted some really bizarre things. LR333, Ray is a good attorney. You know, I'm not doubting his skills in the courtroom, but you think that Michelle Battersby, Windsor, Ontario. Mickey Mantle's in the house, number 7, Mickey Mantle. Any thoughts on the missing shoe? You know, I'm not sure right now. I'm not sure I believe everything that John Ray put forth. Fred Aaron just bought a T-shirt, Sarge. Hey, I wasn't even trying to plug it, but thank you. Wild Z Pony has the Supreme Commander shirts, and every time she gets on a horse, she wants to have that Supreme Commander. Terry Ellis, I think it was a Tumblr, Cannon. Every time she gets on a horse, she has to wear that Supreme Commander shirt. It shows she's in command of that horse. So, I mean, one of the things he said also, Melanie, I do respect that he's trying to build a case, though. He's trying to keep the case of Shannon Gilbert, and because he represents her family, he's trying to keep that case alive. And, you know, as I've discussed many times on this show, guys, the chat's going so fast. As I've discussed many times on the show, the case of Shannon Gilbert right now is not listed as a homicide. And many of you guys insist it was. And that's fine. You can have your own opinion. But as far as there being an active investigation on it, I think in the minds of the Suffolk County Police Department, I think that case is closed. And it's ruled as undetermined death, you know. Melanie, the cops don't believe it. No, it's, you know, the one thing that he keeps mentioning is that when he says that Rex Heuermann met Shannon Gilbert, and that story about him going to the hotel where she was at, a cab driver drove her there or something, and she was supposed to meet Rex Heuermann there. And that is, yeah, I don't know. So I don't believe she ever met him. I'm not, if that story's true, let's bring forth, and which the Suffolk County Police would have to do if they're going to believe this. Let's bring forth this cab driver, and let's get see if his information is credible. Eric Olson, old Sergeant Bill, police off the cuff, coffee, cuffs, and candid cannon. Yes, that's right. Someone's after me. You know something, Kristen DeValle, she was, in my opinion, you know, and I don't want to get into this case because it just really gets everyone annoyed, but she was extremely high on drugs. That you can hear it in her voice. And, you know, she didn't recognize her driver, Michael Pack. Why are you calling me by my name? You know, and some people took that to mean something else. But she was definitely, high on something, And don't forget, she went there on an out call. She was working. She went to a client's home. And then when he tried to get her out of his house, that's when this whole craziness all unfolded. Alison Rangel, that was disturbing if it wasn't a kink. Women were being mutilated. Didn't see any men being portrayed in the same way. Those photographs, those images that John Ray showed yesterday in a press conference were horrific. They were horrific, and I can't believe any of the TV stations. I don't think they probably cut that out if in fact they did a. I don't know if anyone did a live report on that. I know a lot the YouTube channels did. I know Duty Ron was live when the press conference occurred, and John Ray had that female assistant that was talking about it. I don't have her name committed to memory. So yeah, just very disturbing, And what do we think in the chat? Do we think, here's I'm going to take a little poll here. Those that think that Victoria Heuermann was actively involved in her father's crimes, her father's alleged murders of these 6 women, put a 1 in the chat. And let's not forget, she's 27 years old? So 1993, when he allegedly murdered Sandra Castilla, Victoria Heuermann was not even born yet, all right, because it was almost 31 years ago. So many of you guys are thinking that she was, you're putting a 1 in the chat, that she was involved in her father's. Wow, that's a lot of people that are thinking that way. One, the most recent, Root Trackers by Yari. No, just research. Can she sue for defamation? I don't know. Something, the crazy thing about this is that her attorney was formerly John Ray's associate. Fred Aaron put a 2 there that she's not involved. It seems most of you think she was somehow involved in it. Yeah, look, I'm not 100% sure right now. I don't think she was involved in the murders, but if we believe the most recent, and I do, the bail application and all the press conferences we heard, is that where was the location of all these murders? Where were the women brought? And I'm asking that rhetorically. They were brought to his home and to his basement. And his basement served not only as a location that he killed these women, but that he tortured them. So is there a possibility that Victoria Heuermann knew about some of this stuff? Very, very disturbing, right? Very disturbing. But when even the attorney for Asa Ellerup, Rex Schumann's wife, his name is Robert Macedonio, right? I remember, I have no notes with me, excuse me, I want to sneeze. He continues to say, on behalf of Asa Ellerup, or Asa Ellerup, you guys criticize me for my pronunciations all the time. Asa Ellerup, that's Rex Schumann's wife. He continues to say that she has no idea, she cannot believe he could be capable of any of these things, which, does she read the same reports, the same 37-page bail application form? Did she read the initial 32? Yes, of course she did. Of course you read it to her, Robert Macedonio. So stop the lawyerly bullshit, Of course, she doesn't believe Rex could have done any of those things. But, he spent thousands of dollars on escorts, and his computer had the most horrific, heinous searches on it. But yet, we cannot believe that he did this. She does not believe it, as she took the 7-figure advance for the documentary that they're doing on Rex Heuermann. Could that be to pump up the numbers of this? I just look, I have lots of problems with this, and the story, the big story I have a problem with is the story about and I've said this a million times, the New York City narcotics detective and an African-American woman went there with a white woman based on an advertisement that they saw on the wall in a club in New York City where swingers went called La Trapeze. And Rex put this ad on the wall, and him and his wife, Asa Ellerup, were swingers. And not only was Rex a swinger, but he would swing both ways. It didn't matter if it was female or a male. He was just, you know. Cat 747, Victoria's hair on some of the victims. You're right, Cat. But as we explained, and as other channels have explained, that doesn't mean anyone was involved. Because look, the house that you live in, if you live with other people, their hairs are all over the place. You don't see them. Some of them are microscopic. Hair gets on soap. Hair gets on furniture. Hair gets on clothing. Hair is transmitted. It's called transfer evidence. Yes, exactly that. So we can't say, oh, because her hair was found, she's involved in it. And you remember the burlap sacks he used to tie up the victims? Where were those stored, you know? And that's another way that hair could get on it. So that doesn't mean that anyone was involved, because Asa Ellerup's hair was found on a couple of the bodies, and so was Victoria Heuermann's. And people will say, well, how come the son's hair wasn't involved or wasn't found anywhere? Well, maybe he wasn't in some of the rooms where the hair was exchanged. Look, many of you guys are still believing that that Victoria Heuermann is involved, and we will have to see. We will. Rich Borgia, how you doing? Sour Girl, maybe abuser to the draw of dark art, maybe a result. Sour Girl, that's a good point, Sour Girl. Like, you think that Rex Heuermann had a normal relationship with his family? You think he had a normal relationship with his wife? And I always go back to the house. Look at that house. Is that normal? Is that house normal? 2x4s holding up the roof? So that story John Ray told about, the New York City narcotics detective, an African-American woman and a female, went to his house. And it was around 1996. And that girl we believe to be Karen Vergata, who went missing in 1996. And the New York City narcotics detective and the African-American woman picked her up in New York City, and she had told them she'd just got out of jail. She had just been arrested. Has any police investigators looked into that? I don't know. I don't know if they have. Is that believable? Has that story been vetted? I saw that woman, the planning document named HK202 minus 4 equals fourth target for that year. In West Virginia, maybe normal, or North Florida. People go to look at the year. I think the house is possibly evidence of trauma, Heather, whatever. Yes, I think the house is evidence of some craziness, you know. Is there anyone in the chat that thinks they could live in that house? Sour Girl, I'd hate to accuse her if she's just one of the many victims. There are criminal records for Karen Vergata, a New York web criminal. Michael Allen. Yes, Michael, good point. Was she arrested around that time? If they can pinpoint the day in 1996, was she arrested right around that time that they allegedly went out to Massapequa Park, Long Island, to Rex Heuermann's house? That's one part of vetting that story, right? And obviously now, since the Suffolk County Police cleared Asa Ellerup right out of the box that she had no involvement, they can't speak to her. She also has an attorney, right? The house is the representation of Heuermann's psyche, a big mess. Yes, no. Creepy Addams family living in that house, Jane C. Yeah, that house makes the Addams family house look normal, you know, except for the hand coming out of the box, cousin it, right? Tear it down, absolutely. Caron Best, I'd rather live in a cardboard box than live in that house with my kids. Yeah, so the question is now, with all of these allegations by John Ray, her making money off Peacock, Doc, is, yeah, it's, that when you think of that and think of the victims' families, her making a seven-figure advance from a documentary about her husband being a serial killer, does that give anyone pause? Does that make anyone uncomfortable? Does that make anyone think that she believes the opposite of what her attorney is telling us? I think so. I think it's a little bit crazy. She's trying. Well, she didn't. Why she didn't need a lawyer. The only reason she has a lawyer is because that deal. The lawyer's running interference for that deal and make sure she doesn't get ripped off. Who do you think negotiated that deal? Robert Macedonio. When you deal with these TV companies, they don't want to pay anything, you know. So the fact that he got her a seven-figure payday is impressive, right? But who's it impressive for? Certainly not for the family of these victims, right? They don't want any part of this. Guys, this is Coffee with Cannon, backyard beverage, bitching with Bill, coffee cuffs, and candid Cannon, someone else said. And if you're not subscribed, I see some new faces out there. Go on our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, like us, share us with your friends, your family, even family members you don't like. Share us. Maybe they'll bring you guys together. Coffee with Cannon, bring families together. And if you want to contribute to us, we have a Patreon with 4 different levels, and we also have a YouTube channel memberships with 5 different levels. And we appreciate all of our fans, our friends, our subscribers who keep this show going. And you guys are the ones that encourage me to do Coffee with Cannon again. I had sort of put it on the shelf, and I was saying, maybe I won't do it anymore. And to tell you the truth, it's a lot of fun doing it. I really like doing it. Vespa Q, let's have coffee. Yes, Coffee with Cannon. Sour Girl has her coffee. I'm just drinking water right now. So, yeah, 459 in the chat, 270 with the thumbs up, guys. Let's get more thumbs up. Bill Clementi, make it happen again. You know, Keith, I asked Bobby Chacon, who's a buddy of mine, retired FBI agent, best friends with Jim Clementi, and I tried to get him to see if he could get Jim Clementi on my show, and it didn't happen last week. I'll keep after it. Jim Clementi is fantastic too, but so is Dr. Gary Bricado. I'm not on vacation, guys. I'm just visiting my son right now in Colorado. I'm going to Florida, to Jupiter. Yeah, Aunt BB2, put your DNA on that like button. I'm going back to Jupiter, Florida on July 2nd. Spend a couple of weeks there, and then I'm going to go to Captiva Island for a birthday party. Thanks, that was such a great episode. Well, thank you, Keith. Cat747, Bobby Chacon's brilliant. Love the guy. You know, I always goof on him, and I didn't even know this, that his dad, well, I knew this part. His dad and his brother were both New York City sergeants, police sergeants. And Bobby Chacon's mother is Irish, big time Irish. So Bobby Chacon is like half Irish. I would have never known that. I go, you got a Spanish last name. Your dad is Hispanic, and yeah, but my mom's from Ireland, and he goes to Ireland. I was like, oh, I knew I liked you a little bit more than normal because I didn't know about that Irish part, but that's great. Melanie, spectacular episode. Thank you. You know, what's his name? Mike Geary is fantastic, isn't he? He's really so low key. He's such a wealth of knowledge, and just really good. I find it all distasteful, including yesterday's press conference. Who knows what the marriage was like? Abuse? Yeah, I agree. I mean, Lisa Mitchell. No, it's Chacon, Chacon. That's absolutely Spanish. It's. I forgot what Bobby told me. It wasn't Puerto Rican. I forgot exactly his ethnicity, but his dad, he's funny. He told me I love the Captiva. Oh, good. Heather, 100%. Oh, gotcha. Thanks. 437 in the chat, 296 with the thumbs up. Let's come on, guys. Come in. Come on in. Come on in. That someone else does that. And I find it highly amusing. Uh, I don't know. I don't want to steal his shtick, but I find it funny. Wowsy Pony, you have amazing gifts. Wowsy Pony, I was talking about you wearing the Supreme Commander shirt every time you ride a horse. It gives you that power. Supreme Commander. A red Supreme Commander shirt. Laura Desmaris, no wonder I like you, Bill. You didn't realize you were Irish too. My married name doesn't show it. Okay, Laura, yes, I am definitely. Cannon is Irish, and my mother's maiden name was McCarthy, so you can't be more Irish than that, right? And I probably look Irish. I have the Irish looks, if there is such a thing. Do you think Barry Morphew will be recharged? I don't, I haven't, we cover so many cases. I can't stay on top of every single one of them. Even when I go back to cases that we haven't covered in a while, I got to reorient myself to that. It's, there's so much information. And even, when, yeah, I'm related to McCarthy too, Laura Desmaris, Wowsy Pony, Erica also. Look at all those hearts for Coffee with Cannon, backyard beverage. Coffee with Cannon is in Denver on this Friday, June 14th. Wow. Unbelievable, right? How time flies when you're having fun. Arrest Jen Soto yesterday. I didn't hear about that. Can someone elaborate on that? You're telling me that Jen Soto was arrested? Heather, whatever, my Irish side has McNair. McNair. I go to Ireland. I haven't been to Ireland in a few years, but I've been there numerous times, and it's really a lot of fun. H. Cook, my grandma was McKinney. Stace, so serious, I agree, at Lisa Mitchell. Deb Galloway, I think she means arrest her. Oh, okay. She wasn't. I thought you had breaking news. And I keep saying that Bug Love thought Jen was in a mental hospital. I don't know if I've ever heard people say that. Never saw any confirmation on that. Fitzgerald and McDougal here. Look at all those hearts. Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. Yeah, do we know where Jen is? No, I don't think. H. Cook says, no, that's not true. I need to go there to Ireland, yeah. He was born and raised in Ireland. Jack Duggan was his name. He was his mother's only son, a wild colonial boy. Happy Flag Day. When I went to elementary school, we always used to celebrate Flag Day. At BB2, I'm just Italian. That's okay. The best cooks, best food in the world is Italian. Today, so serious, one can be mental illness free, then get into a marriage with an abuser and end up with a manner of mental illness. Yeah, I think that, thank you, Laura. Lisa, Whiskey in a Jar, that's a good tune. That's a good tune. You guys, no one also doesn't realize is that one of the greatest singer-songwriters of probably all time, Van Morrison, is Irish. Many people don't realize that, Holiday, my clovers are around. Van Morrison, can you go through a day without hearing one of his songs on the radio? Van the Man, Van Morrison, yeah. He's not great live. He's not a performer really, but he's a tremendous singer, songwriter, musician. Brown Eyed Girl, of course, that song's probably made him millions of dollars, right? I saw an interview with him recently, and he's an angry guy, even though he's had such a great life. The interviewer asked him, and the interview was probably from a couple of years ago. He says to him, he goes, so Van, how you doing? He goes, I'm not doing so good. And well, what's the problem, Van? He goes, I read my songs, I got no money. They're giving out my songs without paying me. I don't want to write any more songs. That's my Van Morrison imitation. And so, the way that songwriters now, they just put their songs on Spotify. Songwriters aren't getting compensated for writing these songs the way they used to. Into the Mystic. We were born before the wind, almost younger than the sun. Then the body boat was round as we sailed into the mystic. I'm the moon, that's why. Donna Douglas, just a Scottish Norwegian girl here, pickled herring and drambuie. Pickled herring. Sheila Gregory, you're singing, you remind me of my dad. Well, I hope that's a good thing. Hey, Paula. Hey, Paula. That was another tune, a good tune too. Good accent, B. 416 in the chat, 318 with the thumbs up. Why are you guys leaving me, man? We were up to 440, 450. Don't leave. We only have about another 15 minutes of Coffee with Cannon, live from Denver, Colorado, from the back porch of my son's house. What the heck is up with the cannibalism as far as that Long Island killer? We got to take this stuff with a grain of salt, because we don't know if any of that stuff is true. We don't know any of the information is vetted. So we can't just go with it as it's the truth. Polythene Pamela, you should cut an LP and sing your favorite songs. That would be fun to do, Yeah, I mean, you can't just take that as gospel, because John Ray called a press conference and introduced all this stuff. Many of you in the chat now think that Victoria Heuermann is now involved. I don't know. She couldn't have really been involved in the murders, because these murders happened, she's 27, so they happened 24 years ago. So you think she was involved when she was 3 years old? No, I don't think so. A theory, Rex, entire fan. I hope you guys are going to be cheering on Scotland tonight. Scotland! Cheering them on. 400 in the chat, 331 with the thumbs up. She was introduced young, in my opinion. Maybe lunchtime's over here for some. Could be. She may not be involved, but she appears to lack empathy. I'll wait and see what else surfaces. Well said, Bill, about that. Good morning. Look at all these guys, all these people in the chat. You think he stopped? The cops don't. No, I don't. I think Rex Heuermann was active till the very day he was arrested, and that's why they brought that case down when they brought it down. They weren't going to. They wanted to keep investigating. They wanted to keep him under surveillance. They wanted to keep watching him. But there was evidence that he was... Sour Girl, I wonder if he videotaped the abuse. You know something, Sour Girl? That's a good question. And I almost will guarantee you they're going to come up with pictures from that house. They're going to come up with pictures of some of the victims. Holly Day, he was in full stride. I think that the police, the Gilgo Beach Task Force, the FBI, I think they were aware that he wasn't stopping. He was absolutely still involved in it, and so disturbing. So let's see what happens. Laura Desmarais, so many cameras, I'm sure he videotaped it. That's a possibility. Chris, filmed that torture maybe. Look at how he documented it on his devices. He kept records. He was a architect. They can't help themselves. They got to keep records, write everything down, right? Document everything they do. Because them and, I'm hiccuping. Them and engineers are very specific personality types, brought from their work. And I'm not saying engineers are serial killers, and I'm saying architects are serial killers, but I'm just talking about the organization part of their life. La Trapeze is closed now. What about their records? Do you think La Trapeze is going to keep records about people putting notes on their wall? Yes, sir, looking for swingers out on Massapequa. I don't think so, And if anything, they would want to disassociate themselves with anything to do with this case, Cat 747, an architect that resides in a dump. Isn't that true? Is the temp cool where you are, Christy Dwell? No, it's actually hot. It's supposed to be 84 today. But where I'm sitting now, that's why I didn't do the show outside. It was too hot. and there wasn't a lot of shade, so I did it inside this little sort of Florida room, they call it down south. Mel Stiller, I always look at the headlines with a critical mind. Yeah. And again, I don't know what the whole YouTube community is saying about yesterday's press conference. I'll have to go on and take a look, but from what I watched, I was horrified with it, but yet I just don't know how it helped. How did that help? Did that really help this case? I think that what would help is that you share that information with the police and let them investigate it. If they, have you ever, one thing I want to ask everybody, has anyone ever heard Ray Tierney mention Johnny Ray at all? Have you ever heard him mention that name? No, I don't think you have, So it's not, at this point, part of the investigation. So, yeah, I'm just... Caron Best, I wonder if him and Alice had a live-in nanny and that was Peaches. Whoa. I don't know. We'll have to... Look, the commonality of almost all these cases is that all of these escorts advertised on Craigslist. And he called them using his burner phones. And apparently, the community of escorts talked about Rex Heuermann. And so, do you think that the Suffolk County investigators have all this information? How about Sheriff Errol Toulon, the sheriff of the Suffolk County Jail, where a lot of these escorts go when they get arrested? They interview them for intelligence purposes. What do you know about Rex Heuermann? Hey, Paul, I think John Ray is slightly threatened by Gloria Allred involvement now. Yeah, whenever I see Gloria Allred, it's not a good thing, I always joke that attorneys wear their Adidas so they can chase ambulances. But there's some truth to that, They all seem like, I don't know. It's like when you say that wall is green, they'll say, no, it's yellow. No, it's green. No, if you look at it closely, So, Melanie, this show is so good. Love your insight. Thank you so much. Sherry Murray, was that before or after Craigslist murder? The other murderer, shaking my head. Well, that Craigslist guy, though these were before, but that Craigslist guy was definitely on his way to becoming a serial killer. But he got caught early on in his career, A scary guy, too. Army Mum, good to see you, Army Mum. 432 in the chat, it's growing again. 352 with the thumbs up. Let's get some more thumbs up. The best news is that they have this man, they have this creature under arrest. Yeah, he's not going to hurt anybody else, And his next stop, well, how long do you think it's going to take them to bring this case to trial? It's going to take a while, right? No, Rex was not. The Craigslist killer, I think, he was actually in medical school. He was studying to be a doctor. And they, because of modern technology, that's how they caught him so quick. Linda Butler. Hi, Sergeant Bill. Hello, Linda Butler. I'm the mom. That's why so much evidence will be years. Endless reams of evidence. Yes, I hope Victoria doesn't breed. Oh, God. Tina Leno. Wow. Yes, wow, wow. This is crazy, right? So, guys, this is Coffee with Cannon. Backyard beverage. Bitching with Bill. I didn't do too much bitching today, though, right? I got a good life, So it's a lot of fun. Rock Carruthers, think Dr. Ray did good job informing public. Well, my question is, what was that press conference? Was that evidence? Is that going to help this case? Marcy, good to see you. Is that going to help this case, or is that going to hurt this case? Because what did he put forth? Did he put forth evidence? Or were those unvetted stories? A lot of assumptions. Yeah. Could you put forth what he did yesterday in a court of law? Could you? I think not. You know, I think not. So what was he putting forth? Keith, Bill, where would you take Rex Heuermann case next? Well, I think the next shoe to drop is going to be the case of Valerie Mack. Now, if they had the Mike Geary's in the chat. Good to see you, Mike. He watched. I called him yesterday. I said you got to watch that John Ray press conference, and he did diligently. He took notes, and he sent his opinion to me, and. Ray said he's already given all of it to the police. And what are the police doing with it? You think they're poo-pooing it, or you think they're taking it very seriously? I think they absolutely have to check it out, because who else is getting that information? Michael Brown, the attorney for Rex Heuermann. So if they don't check this out, he'll raise that in court. He'll raise that. JW, the police probably knew about this already. Yes, because the police went to the search warrant, and Victoria Heuermann was home in the house. For you people that said she doesn't live there, she absolutely does live there. She was home in the house when they went to execute that second search warrant. And apparently that book, Mike Geary, hello everyone. Mike's saying hello to everyone. Good to see you, Mike. Love the term poo-pooing. You gotta have some slang, I said sometimes we use copisms and you guys don't know what we're talking about, Singing like a parakeet, for example, right? Rosalie Labradio, H. Cook, happy Flag Day. Law enforcement may not know about her art and her online activity, though. Well, law enforcement does have people that are experts in cyber experts that do check out, and that is part of the investigation of checking out the online identity of people that are involved in investigations. Did they do that with Victoria Heuermann? I don't know. Down under, good point. He just said Victoria's phone needs to be checked. What the police need to do that is probable cause. Did what John Ray presented yesterday give the police probable cause? Of what? What does it give them? Does it give them probable cause to get a search warrant on her phone? Nancy Drew, John Ray is living on a shoestring. John Ray is he's an interesting character. He's 71 years old. He's no spring chicken, and he's still working. He's still wearing very colorful clothing. He's still out there. He's doing the work that he loves to do. JW, probable cause that she's a weirdo. That doesn't reach the standard of probable cause, which is the facts and circumstances that would allow a reasonable person to believe that a crime has been committed and the person subject to this crime is the person that committed it. And the same application is applied to a search warrant, but different language. Probable cause, facts and circumstances that lead a reasonable person to believe. Keith, Professor Geary and Bill's episodes are excellent. Keith, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So the same sort of standard is applied to a search warrant. And so they can't just, without probable cause, say, yeah, let's go search Victoria's phone because John Ray says she's got an online name and she's on the dark web and she's posting these horrific pictures. I don't know if that's going to give, Explore Core, I don't think that's going to give probable cause to anything. Guys, I'm at 59 minutes and 59 and a half minutes. I usually try to just do an hour. I want to thank everyone that came by today. And again, I'm in Denver, Colorado, visiting my son, and going to be here for a few days. I don't know if I'm actually going to do a police off the cuff show from here, but I'm really Coffee with Cannon is just something. My WFLA aired it. Yeah, WFLA was on live. It was for 2.5 hours. Dixie, 20% of these killers have help. I want to bring Dr. Gary Bricado on my show, and I have his contact now, so I'm going to try to do that. He's fascinating. That's a real expertise he has. A sort of dark thing to study, but thank God there's people like him, right? All you fathers out there, happy Father's Day, and you folks in the chat that are wishing me a happy Father's Day, thank you so much. Two sons. I tried to raise the best I could with my wife, of course, who's probably spent more time with them than I have, but I think they both turned out pretty damn well. Anyway, guys, this has been Coffee with Cannon, Backyard Beverage. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Have a great Friday, and I'll see you next time.